This will help. I don't know. Hello, everyone. And we back. What another one? What another one? With another one? Please hit the like. Correct. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. I'm like doing a lot. Doing like 5 things at once. Oh well. Right. Oh well. Oh well. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Hi. Look at y'all. Ooh, running in a bit. Running in a bit. Hello, everyone. Are y'all hitting the like? Please? Please, please, please. I would really appreciate it. I would really appreciate it. To the tizzle. This is my nightmare. This is my nightmare. Hi, Adriana. It's fine. Tracy, Natalia, Real McCoy. I say it's flying. Sheba, Creole, Real McCoy. I said Real McCoy. Real McCoy. Hi. Janae, moderator. Hi, Boo. Emma, Melody's room, moderator. Member. Yes, love to see it. Love to see it. Hi, Green Eyes. Member. Hi, Roxanne. Member. Hello, sweetie. Nell. Hello, Lysandra. Moderator. Hello, Boo. Hello. With this. Hello, like your name. Um, it's a lot of y'all. Hello, J Love, Nef the Goddess, my baby. Coco Queen. Hi. Hello. Did y'all miss me? I miss you. I miss you. I really want to catch you, but I can't. Okay? I really want to catch you, but I can't. So we're gonna get into it. What am I drinking? Ice water. Because I know a lot of y'all will be like, "What you drinking?" Ice water. That's that's it. That's all. Hi Deneen. Hi. So shout out to again Cat Williams and his brother Steven. All right. Shout out to Tasha K. Did you guys get a chance, ladies and gents? Did you get a chance to get over to Tasha K Live so that y'all can see the interview in its entirety? Did you? Did you? I saw a lot of people with mixed feelings. There was a lot of mixed feelings. Um, no coffee yet, not yet. I'm chilling. I'll probably have a cup of coffee after a bit, but as of now, because I have coffee right after this, because yeah, so coffee on Discord, we're gonna be doing that. So I'll have coffee when I go to coffee with coffee. Sounds good. I think that's what I'm going to do. Hi Sheila. Hi Melanie Saunders, moderator. Hi Robin Boo. Hi sweetie. Storm. Hi Boo. So y'all, Steven reached out. Okay, shout out to me. Just kidding. Shout out to Steven. I appreciate him hitting us up again. He watched our show yesterday. He appreciated how we approached the situation. We didn't approach it in an attack, type of way. Although, again, I'm a big fan of his brother, Katt. We all know that. Been a fan of Katt his whole career. Love all his work. I think he's hilarious. One of my fave comedians, top five for sure. Um, he's definitely there, but you know, we have to call a thing a thing. We have to call a thing a thing. And what his brother said was a lot. That can't go unnoticed. We can't just ignore things because we are fans of people. Okay. And again, I don't feel that we should condemn without having all of the information, before it's just like, okay, you're done with you Katt, all of this. It's a lot. This a lot of this occurred when Katt was underage himself. He was a minor. When these things are being alleged, it's a whole lot. Steven did send some receipts. I asked him a few questions that we all had yesterday. Like during part of the interview, he said something about a time frame with Katt. Like you should have reached out, or it took too long to reach out, or something in that regard. And the audience was really puzzled by that. I saw a lot of that in the chat yesterday, questioning like, okay, was this about money? What was he late with, like giving you some cash or something like that? Like, what are you talking about? Like, did he not reach out to give you money? Is what most of the people in the chat was gathering, right? So he cleared that up. He cleared that up because I was curious too. I'm like, what do you mean like time frame? What was that? Did you give him like a certain time to speak to you, or a certain time to do a money drop, or a certain time if to give you a job, or to bring you on tour, or something like what that work? What that work? So, yeah, it was a lot. And y'all say Katt was touched. Okay, I told y'all yesterday when we were listening to some of the clips from Tasha K Live. Y'all make sure I go over to Tasha K Live. The app you can download as well. Go on your Safari if you just have a phone, or iPad or something like that, and go to TashaKLive.com. Okay, or download the app Tasha K Live. So during his interview that he did with Tasha, when he talked about departing with his father when Katt departed, left at 13 years old. I was confused by that when Katt originally did the interview with Shannon Sharp, when Netter brother. Okay. I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, when Katt talks about everything else, it's like I'm zeroed in. It's like I believe every word that he's saying. But then when he talked about his own life, I would be perplexed, because I was just like, okay, well, huh? And it was a lot of riddles. So it gave me that something happened that he doesn't want to talk about. That's what it always gave me. And I couldn't exactly put my finger on it. I'm just like, well, there's something there. Because again, I watch as a content creator, I don't watch as, a subscriber. I watch to give commentary. So I listen very closely to what people are saying if I'm going to do commentary on it, because I want to know what I'm talking about when I go. So if you notice, when I did do commentary on Shannon Sharp's interview with Katt Williams, I didn't talk about when he talked about his home life, because it never made any sense to me. I really didn't know what to say, like, because he kept changing it. It went from confrontation to altercation to physical altercation to he almost lost his life. I'm just like, okay, all of that is really confusing. Like, I don't, what happened? Because he never really stated what happened. So I was on Reddit because I love being on Reddit. Reddit is a very intellectual place. You never know who's going to be in the comments, from doctors to, you just never know. Scientists, all type of people are on Reddit, but again, it is more so of an intellectual place. So a year ago, let me pull that up actually so I can show y'all. A year ago, because I was kind of confused about the whole, Katt thing too. So I was on Reddit and I found a thread of people talking about the same thing. Now, this is a year ago. Okay, hold on. Where is it? Hold on. Actually, I think I screenshot it. I did. Yeah, I did. So, right here. So, this was one of the threads a year ago. As you see at the top, it says a year ago. Y'all see that? I'm going to read the thread. Did anybody pick up on the Katt Williams video? This is 1 year ago, okay? Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. Now, this is what it said. Did anybody pick up on Katt Williams, the comedian, interview with Club Shay Shay about him being a Jehovah's Witness at one point? He mentions his father and said he got into an altercation, not a disagreement, and that it wasn't a physical fight. I'm trying to figure out what he meant. Yeah, I know it's upside down, y'all. I know. I know. I'll put it back on the screen. But yeah, the commenter says, "I'm trying to figure out what he meant," and agreed. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what? Like I was very confused by what Kat was saying. It's like you're literally. It's like he's leaving a lot out, jumping over parts. Just basically saying the parts that he wants to say instead of saying what happened. And a lot of time narcissists do that. They don't want to talk about anything that they feel when they've done something wrong. When they've done a wrongdoing, they would rather push past the conversation instead of taking fault for something that they may have done wrong. So I always wonder, I'm like, okay, well, what's going on here? Anyways, so it says, and why he said his father couldn't sleep comfortably around him and he couldn't sleep comfortably around his father. Good question. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, why can't y'all sleep comfortably around each other? What happened to where now your father has a distrust if you're saying that you are a virgin and your father is saying that you are not? So it would have led me to believe that maybe he had sex and his father heard it and sort of saw it. So since he knows that he's being sexually active, that he can't sleep comfortably with him in his house, being a Jehovah's Witness, knowing that that's against what they believe in premarital. So I was just real confused. I'm like, well, what does this mean? Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. It can mean a plethora of things. It doesn't mean that it just you go to one place, but it doesn't seem, so that it was just a thought process, me having, but same thing here. So I wasn't the only one, that was thinking it. So I felt a little relieved when I did see this thread. And so couldn't sleep comfortably around his father. He also mentions his case went all the way to headquarters, meaning something transpired when he got disfellowship. But he said he was a virgin, so how did he get disfellowship for sexual acts if he was a virgin? I'm not understanding unless he was somewhat molested. So then that's what I'm thinking, like, okay, that is very possible too. Did something happen to Katt in the fellowship, not his father, someone else? Did something like that happen to like keep him silent or something like that? Like that's possible too. That somebody in the fellowship was doing something to Katt. And maybe someone in this fellowship or in the fellowship did this fellowship. The fellowship came and told the father. So these are just theories, that we were having because we just didn't understand like what is going on, what is happening. Um, so just to put that out there. Let's put, oh Lord, I'm going to read some of the other commenters that wrote underneath the post. So one commenter said, any sort of sexual act can result in disfellowshipping for witnesses, not just actual sex. I didn't see the interview, so I couldn't really speculate on details, but there is a long history of witness leadership covering up molestation and punishing victims who speak out. At one point, it was a standard practice for local congregations to send all files related to child sex abuse to headquarters. So it's possible he's referring to that. Now, in the interview, Katt is referring to, because from what we gathered, he was talking about CPS, and that's what his brother stated. But this commenter is like, well, was he talking about the fellowship like itself? Because anything that happens with like a kid or something like that, it's sent to like the headquarters, and then, they decide, what happens. So like it went all the way to headquarters. Like, is he saying it like that? Like with Jehovah's Witnesses? Not CPS, Jehovah. Like with that. So I'm like, oh, interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna say that's why I like Reddit. Because they be thinking, like they put their thinking caps on, Because I would have never, because I'm not a Jehovah's Witness or anything like that, so I don't know how protocol goes with the culture or the religion, I should say. I don't know how it goes. I'm Seventh-day Adventist. So, yeah. Um, Yana says, I believe that Katt and the brother could have been to by the father at an early age. Possibly did it to younger brother because it was done to him. I honestly don't think it was their father. I don't. Why? I don't think it was the father. It's because Katt speaks highly of his father, and so does Stephen. They both speak highly of his father. Yes, Rip D'Angelo. If D'Angelo has passed away, we will talk about that at another time. We are talking about Katt Williams. So I'm sure there's plenty of people probably live about it. It's very unfortunate. God rest his soul if he's gone. And yeah, so yeah, we're talking about Katt. Moving right along. So I don't think the father has anything to do with it, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I don't think so. They speak way too highly of him for those things to have been happening. Because Katt has spoken his father in many degrees. He's spoke on him in other interviews too, and I can pull that up too. Of Katt speaking on his father, he doesn't say anything. Now he doesn't really go into detail anything about like him having like a loving father. I will say that, and Stephen doesn't really do that either. So it does sound like he was like a tougher guy. But he's also battling cancer right now, so sending prayers to their father. He is, you know, ongoing battle with cancer. So, sending prayers and, our positive thoughts out to our family because that can be a lot. So we wish him the best and pray that he's healed. But yeah, I just don't think so. I think it was if it was someone else, I think it was someone that they went to church with, someone local, someone that's close to the family, but not necessarily like in the family, is what I'm gathering. I mean, and there is speak of a male cousin in the family too. So, but I just don't think, I don't know why. I have this hunch that it's not the dad. I think the dad may have been misinformed on some information, possibly, but I don't think he did anything. I don't. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. As far as I'm gathering, they had a strict, stern, religious father. So I I don't think that was going on with the father, in my opinion. And again, I could be wrong. Another person stated, yes, I think it had to do with SA because he asked headquarters, can they make sure his two brothers will be okay? Now, that makes more sense of him contacting headquarters with um, the Jehovah's Witnesses than him contacting CPS as a 13-year-old saying, I want my two brothers to be okay. Like, I'm calling to make sure. It's like, well, no, wouldn't CPS be looking for you too? Like, wouldn't it be you will want all three of you to stay together? Like, I'm like, that doesn't make sense because you're only 13. It's not like you're an adult stating that, or even someone that was emancipated saying that. Like, you weren't emancipated. You left at your own will, allegedly. Um, so that does make a little bit more sense that he may have been talking about, because again, it's in riddles, when he could just say it, what's holding Katt back from saying what happened. This is what that's what's like, Katt makes me think his brother is telling the truth. Because why not just say there was an issue, the issue happened, even the headquarters with the Jehovah's Witness, with our religion, got involved. Why not just say that stuff? Because even his brother Stephen stated that he was talking about CPS. Now, Stephen was 5 at the time. So I'm sure with that happening, Katt being 13, his vivid's a little bit more vivid than his memory's a little bit more vivid than Stephen's. So Katt knows who he was referring to. So was it CPS, or were you talking about, the headquarters with the Jehovah's Witnesses and placing? Because that's confusing too. Because why would the Jehovah's Witnesses get involved with removing anybody from a house or anything like that? Like, they're not child protective services. So what do you mean by, I don't. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. So yeah, I don't get that, but I guess Anyways, let's keep going. Okay, to make sure his two brothers would be okay. So the result of the dis- disfellowshipping him, and he said that he still loves God and he not crazy, as some witnesses would like him to think. I never knew he was a witness, but his story is sad and make the religion look bad at times. And the fact that no one ever gets a genuine apology makes it worse. Watchtower will never admit they were wrong, rather it be new information or something that a person questions. It's sad. So that's crazy work. Crazy work. Um, let's get into his brother really quick. Let me pull up the interview from, well, a clip. And then I'm going to show y'all a receipt that Steven sent me.
Right? Remember that first comedy special?
Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please
The
hit the like.
Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Okay, shut up.
And he talked about that. Let's stay in the scope of his comedy, right? Remember that first comedy special where he talked about that little boy, all those adopted kids? And he talked about that little boy that woke up every morning. Hey, Daddy, can I have some cereal? That even in his comedy, he said, I felt bad when I took him to the doctor and they put him on Ritalin because he was just out, right? You know that? What happened there? I don't remember. Nobody does. Nobody does. I'm his uncle. And I didn't know what happened. Now we're going to see why this silence thing is bothering me. Because you started off your career talking about this little kid. You brought this little kid and the knowledge of this little kid, Malik, to the world. But you also said nothing when this little boy died. You said nothing. Just like Mr. Carroll being dead, and you said nothing. You forgot about me. You forgot about Malik. You forgot about Malik. Are you Malik? No. Malik's dead. Died at 15. And you want to know why I mentioned that? Yeah. He knows why. He knows why. What's Malik's last name? Are you... I'm gonna give you that answer, right? Okay. But he ain't moved fast enough, so punishment must come. How do you verify the true last name of an adopted child?
Okay, so right there, that is the part. Okay, he's saying he ain't hit him up quick enough. Okay, so I had a question about that. Okay, I asked him about this. I did. When he said this, I asked him about it, and he
You forgot about me. You forgot about Malik. You forgot about Malik. Are you Malik? No. Malik's dead. Died at 15. And you want to know why I mentioned that? Yeah. He knows why.
Right here.
He knows why.
Right here.
What's Malik's last name? Are you... I'm gonna give you that answer, right? Okay. But he ain't moved fast enough, so punishment must come. How do you verify the true last name of an adopted child? And is it harder to verify that child's information and identity if he's been adopted twice? Yeah, it's hard to find, kind of where they came from, who they are. It's even crazier when they die under the care of a state institution. If you are a rich and powerful person, and in the beginning of your career, you acknowledge that you have someone under your care who's special needs. Without your money, you would think those special needs would maintain for an extended period of time, especially with someone you claim is your child.
It says he has 3 biological kids and 7 adopted kids. So Malik was one of his adopted kids. And Malik is dead. With no records. The only records he has is the records because he's been adopted by your brother, obviously. And names are changed.
Remember I was telling y'all about the lubricant y'all hear on my videos?
So he said that Malik was 15 years old, okay, and that Malik was an adopted son of Katt Williams. Katt Williams has spoke of Malik. If you've never heard Katt Williams speak of Malik, let me show you Katt Williams speaking on Malik.
Got a son that's 7, his name Malik, this nigga run. I got a son that's 7, his name Malik, this nigga run every goddamn day. That's what the fuck he do. You ain't gotta chase him, you ain't gotta train him, you ain't gotta put shorts on him. This nigga is ready every morning. Soon as his foot touch the goddamn ground, out the bed, show, that nigga's gone for the rest of the goddamn day. Shoot, 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 shoot. You even see him like,
okay, now he says on Tasha K. Okay, now Stephen Williams, Katt's brother, stated on Tasha K that he has a son named Malik. We just heard Katt Williams state himself that he had a son named Malik. Okay. He said that Malik is not him. Because people think like, oh, well, is he saying that Malik is him? No, Malik is not him. This is Malik. Okay. Hold on. Let me switch on the screen so. This is Malik. Here's all the information you need. This was from 2014. This was an invitation to the funeral. Girl, what we thinking? What we thinking? What do we think? Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. I needed some receipts because I'm like, okay, because as far as I could tell, everybody was thinking that Malik was like him speaking of himself in like the third person, or like you forgot about Malik, or like saying that Katt forgot about him in some way. Even Tasha asked, like, are you Malik? You know, and what, because no one knows, like, where is this? Like, where is he? You know, and whatnot. This is Malik. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. You know, I just can't bring out receipts. So, what are we thinking? Katt does not speak of Malik. Are you saying K is Malik? Who? So the brother wants Katt to speak on his traumatic childhood and the tragic death of his son. How dare his brother talk about his son like that? Aaron, you're about your business. Well, how is he talking about him though? What is going on? This is Katt Williams' deceased son, Malik Jones. Yeah. This is allegedly Malik. I will tell you this. I can't really find anything on him. Nothing. He allegedly passed in 2014. I'm alleged. This is crazy. This is crazy. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. I just come out across it and caught my attention. What happened? Katt Williams' brother has done an interview on Tasha K. If y'all want to hear what happened to him, listen again very closely. He tells you what happened to him. He says that Malik passed away in the care of a hospital. So like a hospital setting. And Katt was explaining his son basically as someone who had either autism, something like that, but he was mentally challenged in ways. And allegedly, his brother says that Katt just pretty much threw him away. And I like literally throwing them away, but kind of just, you know how people just kind of leave their family when other people's care is kind of what is given. Check out Tasha K's live, or her interview on TashaKLive.com. I keep telling y'all, it's important to listen to it because there are truths. Like, we may not want to believe a lot of this stuff, but it's an unfortunate truth. It is. Crazy work. I'll let y'all hear again what he said happened to his nephew. I'll let him say it himself. I'll play it again. We'll get it in.
Stay in the scope of his comedy, right? Remember that first comedy special where he talked about that little boy, all those adopted kids? And he talked about that little boy that woke up every morning. Hey, Daddy, can I have some cereal? Then even in his comedy, he said, I felt bad when I took him to the doctor and they put him on Ritalin because he was just out, right? You know that? What happened there?
I don't remember.
Nobody does. Nobody does. I'm his uncle. And I didn't know what happened. Now we're going to see why this silence thing is bothering me. Because you started off your career talking about this little kid. You brought this little kid and the knowledge of this little kid, Malik, to the world. But you also said nothing when this little boy died. You said nothing. Just like Mr. Carroll being dead, and you said nothing. You forgot about me. You forgot about Malik. You forgot about Malik.
Are you Malik?
No. Malik's dead. Died at 15. And you want to know why I mentioned that?
Yeah.
He knows why. He knows why.
What's Malik's last name? Are you?
I'm going to give you that answer, right?
Okay.
But he ain't moved fast enough, so punishment must come. How do you verify the true last name of an adopted child? And is it harder to verify that child's information and identity if he's been adopted twice?
Yeah, it's hard to find, kind of where they came from, who they are.
Mm-hmm. It's even crazier when they die under the care of a state institution. If you are a rich and powerful person, and in the beginning of your career you acknowledge that you have someone under your care who's special needs. With all your money, you would think those special needs would maintain for an extended period of time, especially with someone you claim is your child.
It says he has 3 biological kids and 7 adopted kids. So Malik was one of his adopted kids. And Malik is dead. With no records. The only records he has is the records because he's been adopted by your brother, obviously. and names are changed.
Remember I was telling y'all about the lubricant? Y'all heard
So
one.
allegedly, this is Malik Jones. Poor thing. Mhm. And he passed away November 23rd, 2014. And the brother states that Malik passed away in a state hospital's care. That is what he is stating about Malik. Hmm. And here is the invitation to Malik's funeral. Correct. So when he says that there's not much information out there on Malik, he is correct. There really isn't. And the brother gave the receipt correct. Yes. Hmm. Yeah. What are we thinking? This is crazy. Crazy work. Now, I will say this about Katt, and this situation with Malik. Again, when you are grieving, a person can't necessarily tell you how to grieve. So if part of Katt's grieving process is to not speak on this publicly, he doesn't have to. You know, is how I view it. I don't think that he has to. I do think that it will make a lot of sense of a lot of decisions that Katt has made over the years. Like he's been in a lot of trouble with the law, and when he does get off, you know, he does definitely keeps a good lawyer around. Uh, so yeah, I did ask what the end game was. Yeah, well, yeah, he does speak on everything else and everyone else. So this is why I'm not coming at Steven for divulging said information. Because Cat Williams going around talking about everybody and their mama. There is no limit. He talks about what he wants. He drag who he wants. He says what he wants. He does. That's what he do. Okay. So people should be allowed to do the same thing. Why do people have to be careful when it comes to Cat? Although he's talked about everything from parenting to sexuality to households to marriage to and on other people's. So if he could do that and even put these same set people, put his family and whatnot in his stand up and whatnot, why can't they? Because when comedians are speaking on personal things, just turning them funny. So I mean, it doesn't really make any sense for a person to say like, "Oh, well, why is he talking about these things?" Because he just simply can. You know, it's like content creators when we are ragging on somebody or coming at somebody, it's like, "Well, why are you doing that?" Because I just simply can. You know that if somebody comes for me, they just simply can. You know, they don't need a reason. They just can. So yeah, I don't feel like it's going too far. But if he doesn't want to speak on, it, he does not have to. I'm not saying that Cat is less of a father or less of a person because he hasn't. Pain is pain. If that's too painful for him to speak on, cool. But that doesn't mean everybody else has to be muzzled. Everyone else has to be on mute. If I lose a relative or a family member, even if my family member is struggling with it, if I want to speak on it, I can speak on it. I definitely can. Y'all, this is a shakedown. A shakedown is usually a threat prior to. Yeah. So I mean, you get the money prior. You get the money prior. Now, see if it was like a shakedown with like a lawsuit. There is no lawsuit or anything like that. He's not suing Cat, or anything like that. He's not doing that. He's not doing that at all. So yeah, that usually happens prior to. Hi, Lenore. That usually happens before. It's usually you don't put the information out and then ask for a check. You usually ask for a check before you put the information out. So yeah, Shannon says Tasha asked the brother multiple times if Cat SA'd him, and the brother literally would not say yes. He just danced around it. Agreed. Agreed. And again, those can be hard things to discuss. But I will tell you this: he did not leave the people listening to the interview thinking that it didn't happen. The only thing that was missing was detail. But other than that, because you could say something without saying it. Same thing Katt does. Katt does the same thing when it comes to their life. Why, if you're going to condemn someone, why condemn one person? I feel like you would have to condemn both of them. I do, because Katt could have did damage control just by simply explaining his life. He's left so many holes and all of that. You don't have to do that with your own life. Like, you get to control your life and how you're, because no one can tell your story better than you. So why be so descriptive when you're talking about other people and their lives, but then when it comes to your life, it's all type of holes and skips and jumps and pauses and all that. I would rather a person just not talk about it than lie to me, because that's what it seems like Katt has done. It doesn't seem as if he's honest when he talks about his own life. If you are a genius and all that, that's something that you would think a person would love to talk about. You know, those are positive memories. Those are healthy memories. He doesn't state anything healthy with his family and whatnot. He really doesn't state much to say that he had a loving, caring family. He doesn't, which is throws people completely off. So I would rather you not, because we're not entitled to your life. We're not. We're not entitled to Katt's life, just like you're not entitled to my life. But if I'm sitting here putting you in parts of my life by telling you certain things about me, and then you find out that those things may not have been true, or I may have left a lot out, you do at that point in time have every right to say something to me. If I tell you one thing and you find out another, when I just didn't have to tell you that at all. I didn't have to say that at all. You know, that's on me. I put that energy out there. So it's the same thing with Katt. Katt put that energy out there. He could have stated in the Shannon Sharp interview and other interviews that he's done when his family comes up that he just simply doesn't want to talk about it. And people will respect that. And before you do interviews, a good interviewer will ask you what you want to talk about and what you don't want to talk about. So I do believe that Katt makes it so that him going back and forth to jail, stuff like that, though you can't ask him nothing about that. You can't ask him nothing about the viral video of him at the park fighting a 14-year-old boy. You can't, because no one gets to question him about those things, and those would be really good questions. Where were you in life to where you're just at a park fighting a 14-year-old kid over a soccer game? What was going on with you? Were you okay? Because this is a person that has said pretty much his whole career that he don't do drugs. But a lot of his behavior explains drug use. A lot of his counterparts and people that hung out around him said that he was snorting the same lines as us. You know, and all of that. Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, he was doing the same thing. Like, what? It wasn't nothing we was in there doing. He wasn't doing. That's why a lot of people call Katt Williams a Hollywood snitch in the industry. Because Katt went on stage and told y'all what they was doing. He didn't tell y'all what he was doing. He came out to the parties telling y'all what Professor Ogilvy was in a party doing, but he ain't tell you what he was doing, though. He'll tell you, sometimes you got to tell Diddy no. What were you saying no to? And why were you there if you so anti-homo? Why were you even there? You know how he get down? It take 3 parties for you to see that he's a freak. How many parties do it take, Katt? Because you've been at multiple. You said like you went to one party and never came back. Please. 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 That was cute. That was cute. So, we're in a hotel lobby arguing with himself in the bathroom. Right. You dated Hazel E. That definitely gives. You dated Hazel. You dated Naza He. And you went on. So you're like attracted to her. In daylight. Eyes open. Correct. That is what that gave. Mhm. Correct. Correct. So yes, that's not a nice shot. Hazel is a nice lady. I didn't say she wasn't nice. Most people don't sleep with people's personalities. Um, Netter has a nice personality, but whoa, whoa. So yeah, done about. I didn't say she wasn't a nice person. I didn't say she wasn't a sweetheart. She just got to be out in the dark. I would interview Nasal just in the dark, like this. We're about to period, and I'm good to go because the faces I'm gonna be making, like I can control my face. So my face tells the truth, even when I don't want to. My face tells the truth. So yeah, but again, he has a lot of things that we could discuss. Okay. I know a lot of you want to know his end game. I wanted to know the end game too. I want to like, okay, like what is all of this for? I'm like, were you guys like beefing? Like what happened? So I wanted to know about the comment that he made about when he said that time was up, it was too late, took him too long. I wanted to know what that meant, right? So I asked, okay? And he says, hey, brother, I'm 46 years old. How long do you wait for somebody to reach out for slandering your own father and then let alone find out that there are more victims and continuing mess all the way up and through 2025? Girl, he said there's more victims. He said there's more victims. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Look here. I'm just reporting the news. I'm not creating it. Okay. He said that there is more victims. I bullshit you not. That's what he said. He said there are more victims. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. I'll read that again. Okay, girl. Hold on, let me read what I said so I don't look like it's just one-sided. So I don't look one-sided. Let me scroll because I got a lot of receipts. Okay. Right here. I said, honestly, brother, I knew you were telling the truth. Now, Katt may have his side of things, but I feel he's nervous about the information that you put out. When you said Katt took too long to reach out, what did you mean by that? Okay, because he did say that. He did. So we needed to know. I'm like, what does that mean? Or were you like threatening Katt or something like that? Like, was this about money? Like, what's it about? So he says, hey, brother, I'm 46 years old. How long do you wait for somebody to reach out for slandering your own father and let alone find out there are more victims and continuing mess all the way up until and through 2025? So he said that he was saying that by his brother to reach out to him to talk and for his brother to remove the imagery that he put out there on their father. Shout out to Luke Lynn. She says, a big up handsome hair flipper. Thank you so much for the super sticker, sweetheart. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So he says that is why he said that. Not because he was looking for compensation, or something like that. No, not at all. So, okay. I'm not reading all of our messages. I'm just reading, questions that I had asked and got the answer to. So to continue to 225, eventually leading up to the incident involving Reggie Carl, or Carell, or Carl, I think it's Carl. The mission was already in progress prior to Mr. Carroll's death, but to have that happen and then have the arrogance to not acknowledge it, it was just a little too much for me. Like he got a God complex. Ooh, girl. He's the one who said in 2024 was the year of truth. I gave him a whole year to get right. He took that whole year to talk about the Unaki, and demons well dressed up in the signs of the Illuminati. So he said that 2024 was the year of truth, which Katt did say that. And he said that he was giving Katt the opportunity. He gave him a year to get right, to make things right, to have a conversation about it at least and whatnot, and that never happened. So he says, I have a 19-year-old daughter who's old enough to understand everything that's going on, but I also have a 3-year-old son. Can you imagine the pain of looking at your son and imagining what you would do if anybody tried to inflict the same things onto him that were inflicted on you? It hits different. It makes it all hit different. Now, what y'all think about that? What y'all think about that? He said the reason why he came out and say any of this at all, because he has a 3-year-old son now. And what happened to him, he would never want that to happen to his son. And having a son made him realize how he will basically never let anything happen to, like what happened to him, he'll never let nothing like that happen to his son. And that's clearly him stating that Katt did this to him. Because the conversation was about Katt and about what Katt did to him allegedly when he was 5 years old. What do y'all think? Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. Now there's more stuff in here that I cannot read to y'all yet. It's deep. And whatnot. There's also other people that are involved. So we got to chill on that. For now, And again, like I'm not out here to persecute Katt, or anything like that. So, okay, I was gonna read that. Okay. I said, did you and Katt fall out or just lose contact? He says, I beat up 6 of Katt's security in his home in Malibu behind one of the victims. He said, I beat up 6 of Katt's security in his home in Malibu behind one of the victims. Plural. Girl. Which is how Too Tall even got hired. I left right before the case he and Suge got into in Vegas. We saw each other at our family reunion, which was July 2023, and he did a Club Shay Shay after that. It went back up from there. So he said the Club Shay Shay interview is really what kicked this off. He's like, I saw him in 2023. We were okay. And shout out to the Greatness for the super sticker. Thank you so much, Greatness. I really appreciate it, sweetheart. Thank you. So he said they were cool. Because I think that's important too, because that hasn't necessarily been determined. Well, what happened between you? Did y'all have a falling out, or was it just over time? Y'all just gained some type of feelings for each other that just wasn't positive. What was this, right? So that's what he says. He says that the Club Shay Shay, and the things that I'm assuming that was said about their father and whatnot, So yeah. And he also said, I'm the brother who got him out of the financial trouble with the IRS and who figured out where the fraud was actually coming from. So he said, he could, assist. He says, that's why I could get on. I'm not even saying that name. Moving right along. So he does say that there are other victims. does say that. Now, look at here. Look at here. That is a lot. We will get into that when we have time. But until then, let me pull this up. Katt does tend to lie. He does tend to lie, but a lot of people were speculating as well. The scene that was in Friday After Next, when Money Mike was in a bathroom with Damon, and Damon was going to R word, grape, Katt Williams was his character Money Mike. And Katt said that he had, during the Club Shay Shay interview, that he had that scene removed. Now, I never believed Katt Williams when he said that, because Ice Cube is not that kind of director. Ice Cube also directed the movie The Players Club. Y'all remember that movie? In The Players Club, Junior R-worded Ebony. We didn't see it. We didn't. Now, there was audio of them acting in the room, but he didn't show anything. He did not. Okay? So we already know Ice Cube's not that kind of director. Like, he don't do that. He don't show things that violent. And what he don't go there. So when he said that he had that taken out of the movie, that he was doing that to basically protect the character, I don't feel that way. I feel that he really didn't want that scene to happen because something probably happened to him. I think if anything, maybe Katt just didn't want to feel like that again, because maybe something like that or similar to may have happened to him, and he didn't like the mindset or the mind frame that it put him in. But because Ice Cube came forward and said that that was never happening. I can even read you the article. Ice Cube says, he got a lot of love for Katt Williams, but that was never happening. So he didn't get anything cut. He didn't remove anything like that. And Katt does have that kind of energy. So when his brother says God complex, Katt does kind of give that. Like, he controlled everything with Ricky Smiley and Ricky Smiley character and this. And I have to remove the scene of this with Money Mike and all of that. It's just like, you didn't though. Like, you didn't do those things. But okay, I mean, whatever. But he would say certain things to make himself seem more important than what he actually is. So that's narcissistic too. Or very so much is. So yeah, that wasn't true. And then if you look at the scene, he did more than the actual R-wording. You got nude pretty much. He pulled your clothes down. He was yanking and pulling at you. I mean, you were fighting him in the, like, that was more than what we saw of Ebony in the Players Club. You did more than the female, honestly. I'm just saying. He did more. He did more in his R-word scene than Ebony did. We didn't even see her. She said, wait till the rest of the dancers get here. I just came here to dance for y'all. That's it. And then the door closed. And after Junior was like, turned the light off and the door closed, and then we just heard sounds. Like, we didn't see it. You was actually in there in the bathroom reaching for vice scripts and all of that behind toilets. You was doing all that. Ebony didn't do all that. So, so it was a little weird that he was saying that he got the scene removed. It's like, you didn't though. Like, you did more in your scene than, in any other Ice Cube's other movies, So I was confused by that. But moving right along, Katt Williams, let's get into what he said about his father. Because I don't believe that their father had anything, in my opinion. I don't think their dad did anything.
Like, that's been the fun. figure, and what is some advice that they've given you?
My father was the first father figure.
Who's the person in your life that's been the father figure, and what is some advice that they've given you?
My father was the first father figure. I learned the potency of professionalism from him. And then with my particular circle, I was blessed that anytime a strong mentor-like figure was in my life, I was able to understand what they were imparting to me. And so I was able to have that experience with Heavy D and Charlie Murphy and Prince. And so I have things from each of those gentlemen and many more that I keep in my mental Rolodex, so I never can get too far off the path because I remember gems from these guys. You know, those are the things that live on, and those are the things that you need no matter what life you're living.
Right, tell. Who's the person in your life
So
that's
he
been
doesn't
the
say
father
anything
figure?
negative about his father. He always says good things, like he said, professionalism, all of that he learned from his dad. He never says anything bad. So the Club Shay Shay interview is very so much confusing. It is. Again, his brother does state that there are other victims. We will let that unfold as it unfolds. Hold on. I was going to show you something else. No, I'm not reading that. Okay, sorry. He did post this to his brother. He posted this. Stephen posted this on his Instagram. Okay, he posted it on his Instagram. Hold on, let me flip it for y'all. He posted. I just screenshot it. He posted this on his Instagram. So if you want to see who he's alluding to as other victims coming forward. It says alongside a history of beating on women. Now, I can contest to that. No, not that. Oh no. Oh no. Before, because then it'll be backwards for you guys. He has multiple charges of this though. He don't put his hands on a decent amount of women. I will say that. He has. Okay, comedian Katt Williams arrested Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. And the woman sued him for $1.7 million. Okay. And it was weird because in the case, it said that the woman never contacted the police or anything like that, which was weird because if she sued him for 1.7 million, right? It says comedian Katt Williams, right here, sorry, recently dodged a $1.7 million judgment stemming from a federal lawsuit accusing the funny man of assaulting a woman claiming to be his former personal assistant. The plaintiff, Angelina, filed suit against Williams in 2016, alleging that the comic viciously assaulted her during a 2014 incident on a film set. According to her, Williams hit her in the face multiple times, resulting in her falling to the ground and becoming unconscious as a result of the assault. At one point during the litigation between Williams and Angelina, the plaintiff was awarded $1.7 million for a default judgment amid the claims that Williams was attempting to duck the lawsuit and hadn't shown up to court in his own defense. Okay, so he ended up getting that overturned, and they kept fighting it and ended up winning, which was weird because they said in the report, well, during court, that she didn't call the police or anything like that. He was arrested. There's a mugshot and all of that. There's a mug shot, all of that. Like, I'm like, well, that's weird because I'm like, I have the mug shot right here. So I'm like, what? Was that not? And then when she did an interview with, who was that, Bossip, and said that, like the justice system failed her, and whatnot. So I'm not saying that she's telling the truth. I mean, but she did call the police. He was arrested for, and then he also took a plea deal for another assault that he did. But Katt always says that he wins. No, you take plea deals, buddy, because he got 5 years probation for assaulting the driver for wilding out. A man was taking him to the wilding out set, and Katt Williams had his big German Shepherd dog, like it's a big dog. And they had a disagreement over how the dog was going to ride there. So then Katt ended up assaulting the man multiple times. There was another incident to where Katt Williams, there was a comic that did a set before him, and I guess it was something the man said about Katt that he didn't like, and Katt took out his weapon and pistol whipped him. There's the incident of him on the soccer field losing a game of soccer with a 14-year-old and physically fighting the 14-year-old. But the crazy part about the fight is Katt got beat up by the 14-year-old. I watched it multiple times. I would show you, but it's too violent for you too. He lost, like, big time. Like, that 14-year-old lay hands. They had Katt on the ground, like, could barely breathe. All that, had him in a hold and all of that. You lost. Like, that was. I'm like, oh, I see why no charges were filed, because if they were, it would have been on the 14-year-old. Because the 14-year-old did damage. Honestly. Yes, he got beat up in the fight. Google it and watch it at your own time. Katt Williams fight a 14-year-old boy. He loses. Viciously. He didn't even have a chance. Like, at all. And Katt started it. He hit the boy first. It's like even the little boy had more couth than Katt, because at least the boy kept his hands to himself. They did have a little verbal altercation, but it wasn't enough for you to put your hands on him. It's like, that's a kid. Like, come on, man. Like, that's the little boy. Like, why are we hitting little boys? So if he will put his hands on a little boy, what's stopping him from putting his hands on a woman? Putting your hands on a little boy isn't right. So, and neither is putting your hands on a woman as a man. That's not right. So I believe her. This ain't got to do with his brother. And although his brother did put up a post stating that he has put his hands on multiple women, I believe, because I've seen with my own eyes, him attack a child. Like, and he swung on that boy. Hit the boy in the face, and then it went up. And Katt swung first. A grown man. At that point in time, a 30-something-year-old man. Anyone know what started the fight? Over the soccer ball game. I believe it was something about a point or something happened in the soccer game, because that's why they were out there. They were kicking the soccer ball around. So it was about the soccer game, like getting over competitive. You know how people get. That's what it seemed like to me. Katt is real cocky. Like, he says how he can run so fast and he can run a 5-point this and da 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 da. And I feel like he got showed up. He got showed up, and it turned into an altercation because he got showed up. You know how he loves to say, if he wasn't 5'5", he would be in the NFL and all that. You're watching the kid fight from the beginning. What do you mean? If you watch, I watched it. I saw it. Katt hit that boy first. He did. It was an altercation. Like, that. Well, not an altercation. It was verbal. That's how it started. And Katt put his hands on that boy. And that was wrong. He should not have done that. No matter how funny he is, how much you like him, that is not cool for a grown man to put his hands on a child. That's not okay. It doesn't matter if you're the same height as them. It doesn't. And the 14-year-old was taller than Katt. So it wasn't like that boy ran up on Katt and attacked him. All that, and Katt had to defend himself. That's not the story. Katt was there by himself. That's what we was thinking. Like, why are you just like at a park, like with, and you don't even know these kids? He didn't. How would he? And like, go to school with them or nothing. They're kids. You're a grown man. Like, why are you here? You know, he wasn't there with his kids. Katt was there alone. He was out by himself. Why? And then his brother come forward with these allegations. He gets himself out with a 14-year-old at a park. Hold on. Since we want to play these games. I really don't want to show it, but okay. So look, this is them having a conversation. They were playing soccer. Does it show the punch?
Are you going to stop me on the point?
So. So he is standing here having a conversation with this 14-year-old boy. Katt swings, hits the boy clean in the face. Clean in the face. Sucker punches him. Clean in the face. These are kids. A whole bunch of kids. Why are you here? Why are you here? And if I press play right now, it's gonna show him, and he hits the boy hard, dude. And then the boy brings him down to the ground. There was no reason for it. Hold on, I'll show you him bringing him down to the ground.
Are you going to stop me on the point?
Now that's the boy with Katt on the ground. And then he puts Katt in like a chokehold. Why are you there? And not only are you here at a park with kids, you fighting them like they your equal? There's no family and none of his kids trying to break up the fight or nothing like that because he is alone. There's no security, nothing. He alone. No one has to lie on him. There's nothing to lie about. The proof is in the pudding. Again, like I said from start, he put his hands on that 14-year-old boy. There was no reason for that. For him to put his hands on him. Yes, they were having a disagreement. But you're a grown man. You're a grown man. There's no reason for it. There's no excuse. I don't give a damn what he's going through. So, no reason for that. No reason for that at all. That's weird. I'm like, why was he even there? That's the first thing my mind went to. Because I'm looking for family in the video, like, well, okay, where's this girl at? Or, maybe he's at the park with his kids and there was a disagreement. No. I'm like, where's the security? No. Guess he just randomly decided to go to the park. Go hang out with a bunch of kids. That's weird. That's weird. That ain't weird? That ain't weird? That's weird. Did this boy son in Indiana? I don't know, shut my. I don't hang around random kids. Me neither. Enough to get into fights with them. I'm grown. Right. Like that. That's, come on. That's worth side-eyeing. Definitely worth a good side-eye. Somebody hanging out with kids and getting into physical altercations with them. Like, what the fuck is going on with you? They trying to bury Katt. What's going on? I don't think anybody's trying to bury Katt. I don't think anybody's trying to bury Katt. I don't. Again, with these other alleged victims coming forward, we'll hear them out if they come out. We'll go from there. He did state that there are other people that have things to say about Katt, and that it does take more than one. Like it does sometimes if the person has multiple victims because they're rich and famous or powerful. Sometimes it takes more than one voice to start a movement, right? Um, I don't think anyone. If you are lying, then yes. If you are lying, then yes, you will be trying to destroy someone by just putting a bunch of false rumors on them and what yeah, that's horrible. But if you are telling the truth about something that happened to you, you're not ruining anyone. You're not. You're not at all. You know. Trying to Bill Cosby that man. Who? Who? Here come you mammies. Here come you mammies. Yeah, you can't be a mammy your whole life. You can't be a mammy your whole life. Like there has to be some point in time to where you take your titty out of your enabling titty out of the black boy's mouth. Hmm. Correct. Sometimes you have to pop it out. Pop it out because that's very mammy-ish to say, because no one's over here saying do not support Katt Williams. No one's over here saying cancel him. No one's doing any of that. He has a show here in my state next week or something like that. I'm not going to be down there with picket signs and stuff like, you hoes is weird. Y'all really need to get a life. Like, y'all really do. Instead of going around campaigning for someone that would never campaign for you. Ever. Ever. Katt Williams would never, never. He would never campaign for any of you. That's weird. He wouldn't. You don't know who the you are. Like, at all whatsoever. And I start off every show saying that I'm an amazing fan. I love Katt Williams. What is going on, like I said before, is between him and his brother. That's between them two. They have to figure that out. Only they know what happened. I wasn't there. It's not for me to determine. That's why it's not for me to judge. It's not for me to judge. I don't think that Stephen is a liar. I don't think that. I really don't. I am. I don't feel that way at all whatsoever. I don't. Yeah, move right along. So, yeah, the short man syndrome. I tell you, yeah, it could. I mean, it could be that. It could be that. It sure could. Yeah, you don't know what he would call and ask my brother. You have no idea. You don't know what I would call and ask yours. Tell the newcomers what you're talking about. I'm talking about Katt Williams' brother, Stephen Williams, who just recently did an interview on Unwind with Tasha K's Tasha K Live. Make sure you download the app if you don't have it, or go on to like your Safari and whatnot and check it out. He does tell a story about what happened between him and his brother, allegedly, when he was 5 years old and his brother Katt Williams was 13. He states that his father did remove Katt from the home, but not removed him from the home because of a disagreement about religion. It was because allegedly Katt was caught doing certain things to his 5-year-old brother when he was 13 at the time. Should I ask him what's his older cousin's name? Don't I say to him? Okay, sure. We speak again, I'll definitely. I doubt. Now that's different. What do you think about Dr. Wendy and her husband? It's about 2 lives back. About what I think about them. It's about 2 lives back. We did 2 lives on them. So yeah, that's just what that were. If you are late, well, not late because I mean we just hop on, so I can tell you late if I just hop on. Let me give you a little shim. Give you a little shim. Y'all talking about this cousin?
To your brother's house. What condition were the kids in?
Kids they were young, they were in good condition. They were still around the cousin. was playing the mother role.
Who molested you?
Yes. So, again, you gotta understand, because I know a lot of people are like, well, why the hell, if they did that, would you go out there? How long does it take to get closure?
Did you ever get closure?
I'm sitting here. I wouldn't be sitting here if I had any type of closure.
What about those children? Like,
They grown now. It don't matter now. That's why I'm popping out. Where was all them good-hearted celebrities then that watched all that going on?
so you're saying that there's actually celebrities that know
Come on.
the trauma that happened to these
Come on,
kids
man.
that was under
Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, Suge wasn't there?
Suge Knight?
Remember I was telling y'all about the lubricant? Y'all hear
So
all my
he
videos.
admits that
they're
there was
always
a cousin as well. That was
sweet.
You got how many other people have disappeared under your brothers? Is your brother bisexual?
I don't know what no man does James did. I know I watched.
Is your brother bisexual?
I don't know what no man does James did. I know I watched in the arraignment. I watched a man who was arrested having a publicly videotaped arraignment.
And what
And he
happened?
looked like a Tyrone to me. He looked like a Tyrone to me. I'm a grown man, like I said. I grew up. You from Florida.
Yeah.
You know what gladiator camps are.
Yeah.
St. Lucie County, Rock Road, was a gladiator camp. 17 years old, you locked up with grown men.
And they would fuck the
Get
kid.
it how you live. I've been through too much for this type of behavior, especially for my parents to have endured it this long. For me to have accepted and moved on past my nephew. To get to this point where we are now.
Remember I was telling y'all about the lubricant? Y'all hear all my videos.
that dude talking in circles. Uh-oh.
Teenager was my 5.
Where's the volume? Well, that's
Wait.
Learned why a full-on teenager was bothering his 5-year-old brother.
What do you mean? What are you saying?
You also say in your story that you and your father had to come to an understanding. You said my father was abusive, whooping your ass. You had to leave home. I'm a grown-ass man with kids. You, my older brother, same bedroom type shit. What would make a father beat the fuck out of a 13-year-old to the point that he decided he was going to leave home and he didn't want to come back? Not only did he not want to come back, he's going to make a narrative up that he's going to maintain for 30-some years. What could you have possibly done? Could it have been being concerned while a full-on teenager was bothering his 5-year-old brother?
What do you mean? What are you saying?
I'm not stuttering.
Did
What would make a grown man, if the story is what was bit out of the horse's mouth, the horse says, he got up to a physical altercation with his father. right?
Right.
You're supposed to be 12. 12, 13. You claim CPS was involved. So as a grown man, and I'm reliving this in my mind, right? As you tell it. Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hold on. It's y'all. Hold on. No. It's y'all saying him
Right.
talking in circles for me.
So
Him talking
you
in
telling
circles
me it was
for
some
me. Hold on. Let's talk about circles.
Because you shit on Bernie.
No. I just want the clip of that. We don't want the whole thing. It's too long. Okay.
To your upbringing, born in Cincinnati, Ohio, raised in Dayton, Ohio. What was Katt Williams' upbringing like?
Talk about your
parents were
circles.
Jehovah's Witness. You were a prodigy. You were brilliant. You talked to me that you got accepted to college at 7 years of age. You could read fluently at 3 years of age. So having that kind of knowledge, having that kind of prodigy, or so what was? So I mean, with it, what was your upbringing? How was it? How was life as Katt Williams coming up?
I was often confused because I knew things and I wasn't sure how I knew them. I knew things that I felt like I don't have a reason that I know this, but I love to read. I was voracious because they told me when I was young that knowledge was powerful. That knowledge was powerful.
Hold on. Because you got the people that'll be like, oh, well, that doesn't prove anything. No, it proves a lot. Body language, how a person changes up, switches up, all of that matters. When he's talking about about anything else
Kevin told you he wasn't going to wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on.
See how you talk about Kevin Hart with no problem?
I made my own decision.
No pausing.
But you didn't make it before they
no hesitation.
It's okay. All right. For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk. That all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out? And then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? Mm-hmm. And me saying that and them going, oh yeah, no problem. And then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was and acting like I'm a bad person because
So do you see any pauses? Do you hear any hesitation? Do you hear that? No, he's just speaking fluently, right? Like he talks slow normally. That just what it does. But no hesitation, none of that. But then he talks about him.
He's get to your upbringing. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, raised in Dayton, Ohio.
Listen,
what was Katt Williams' upbringing like?
What?
Your parents were Jehovah's Witness. You were a prodigy. You were brilliant. You talked to me that you got accepted to college at 7 years of age. You could read fluently at 3 years of age. So having that kind of knowledge, having that kind of prodigy, or so what was? So I mean, with it, what was your upbringing? How was it? How was life as Katt Williams coming up?
I was often confused because I knew things and I wasn't sure how I knew them. I knew things that I felt like I don't have a reason that I know this, but I love to read. I was voracious because they told me when I was young that knowledge was powerful. that knowledge was power, and I had studied powerful people, and I really believe that. I immediately, my next project was to read the whole encyclopedia set. So when you're like 6, 7 years old, you read the whole encyclopedia set. You think you're one of the smartest people in the world,
But
only to get out in the world and find out you don't know anything. You know, so
Do you not hear all of the hesitation, the stuttering? He's asking you about your childhood. That means you can say anything. Anything good about your childhood that you can remember, or just how you were brought up, state that. What is the problem? Like, why? If you went through hell, say you went through hell. If you had a good upbringing, a good childhood, say you had a good upbringing, a good childhood. If you went outside to play, if you walked down the street to the park, if you chased the ice cream truck down the street, like why like it gives trauma. It gives a lot happened while you were younger. Whether it was you taking somebody through something, or rather it was somebody taking you through something. So this is what makes me think that possibly something was happening to Katt. Mhm. Most straight men that are sexually assaulted by another man do not view themselves as gay because they are not. Sex abuse does not define a sexuality. So you as a man, if another man does something to you that you do not want to happen to you, then that means that you do not want it. It's not something you are seeking, which makes you exactly what you are, heterosexual. Whether they did something to you or not. A JW is a Jehovah's Witness. Whether they did something to you or not, you're still heterosexual. It's no different than a woman. If another woman does something to her, she is still hetero. It does not make you a lesbian or anything like that because somebody did something to you. No. So that over masculinity, that toxic masculinity, is what creates like a deep rooted anger on the inside when it comes to selected conversations. It's why most victims stay away from it. They stay away from triggers. Anything that's going to trigger them to feel like that or to have to wrestle with those feelings again, they will avoid it. This is what this is given with him choosing his words wisely, stuttering over some words and whatnot, causes anxiety. You know, all that. That's what that gives. It gives something happen. Like what happened to you to where your whole childhood is like a blur if you can't remember simple things from when you were a kid in your upbringing. It's something, a powerful thought that outweighs the childhood. Some people going through that can be so traumatic to where you block out everything else, to where it's like the movie Click, to where you just kind of just sitting there going through the notions and the motions as a child. You're just there. You know, you're not really communicating with people. You're not. It's just, and you block out so much throughout your day when you're constantly going through that. You know, it's hard. And if the majority of your childhood was going through something like that, then you may block out the whole damn thing. You may block out the whole thing. If you had a horrible high school career, like while you were in high school, just every year it seemed like it just got worse and worse, you may not want to talk about high school. You just may not. You know, when people are sitting around like, oh, when I was in high school, I was popular. When I was in high school, I was always in the yearbook, or I was on a football team, or I was a cheerleader, da 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 da. You don't even care to talk about it. It's like, please. Like if you were bullied the whole time, or people were hitting you and harming you and playing just the meanest pranks and stuff on you, you may not want to talk about it at all. So that's what it gives when he speaks on his childhood. It gives it something really bad happened, and he doesn't care to speak of it. There are certain moments that he can recall, like allegedly being accepted into college at 7 years old, and stuff like that. So I do feel like he went through a lot. It sounds really painful, and again, comedians go through the most. They turn real pain into laughter. They do. So if you listen closely to a lot, that's why you can tell a comedian's original joke because it's something stemming to an experience that they had. So to be that funny, you gotta go through some horrible things, you know. I mean, I look at Katt and feel badly for him because I'm just like, he done been through some shit, you know, like he done been through some stuff. You know, the Red Foxes and the Richard Pryors and the Eddie Murphys, now they done been through some shit. You understand me? Hell, even Bill Cosby. You know, they done been through some shit, you know. And it's even with me, like I've been through some shit, you know, like I really have, like I've been through, you know, like in my life. So I do take a lot of my pain and turn it into comedy. Things that make me uncomfortable, make them funny, so I can rule it, own it, you know, by not making it, not letting it take such a hold over my life, not letting it have so much power over my life. And I think that that's the same thing with Katt. I think that this situation, not having closure with it, has a lot of power over Katt's life. So when it comes up, somebody that normally does really well under pressure, does really well with improv and whatnot, suddenly falls blank. The man of many words. And then it comes to something like this, and um, so you, Sean, can relate. Absolutely, 100%. Yes. I have been through sex abuse. I've been through it. And with more than one person. So with victims, I know that predators find us intriguing. They look for us. They look for the wounded ones or the ones that aren't paid as much attention to. It's like my mom had multiple children. So again, you want to try to keep the same attention on all of your kids, but that's kind of hard to do, you know, at times. So I've always been the one that's been more responsible, that to take care of myself, and was kind of acting a little bit older than my years, beyond my years. Wisdom, more wisdom than like going out in the streets trying to be grown. No, I wasn't doing anything like that. But I was wise. I was the kid that my mom didn't have to worry about. My dad didn't have to worry about. I was the one that's just like, hey, he good. You know, anything, we ain't got to worry about him. We know we ain't got to worry about him going outside, getting no trouble, coming home with the police. So it's like, we ain't got to worry about all that with him. But those are the ones that you should check on more, the most. Shout out to the greatest. Thank you so much for the super sticker, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Those are the ones you need to check on more. You know, it's the together friend, you know, the friend that always got their stuff together, working, taking care of stuff. Those are the friends that rarely ever get the "Are you okay?" calls, you know, or "How are you doing?" calls, because you see them posted up with their family on social media. It looks like they're living a good life. It doesn't mean that they're okay. The people that look okay be the ones that need the most help. They be going through the most shit. And they bring it all on themselves because they feel like if they don't do it, it's not going to get done. So they put this unnecessary pressure on themselves to where you want to be so independent that you don't want to depend on nobody, and life shouldn't be that way. You know, and I've carried that ever since a child. Like even being a kid, I always wanted to do things by myself. I always wanted to master things on my own. That's why I took learning as a challenge, you know, and whatnot, because I wanted to be the smartest. You know, like my big brother, he was really smart. So it's like, I wanted to be smart too. You know, people always told me how smart he was. And I'm like, I don't want people to talk about me like that. You know, when like, I was smart. You know, so it's like, I would do the same thing. So I would be so independent to where I wouldn't go to anybody. And that's what a lot of victims do. A lot of victims will keep it on the inside because they feel like nobody will understand them. They feel that they will be blamed for it. They feel that they won't be believed. All type of reasons, you know, to where they won't come forward. So I've been there, and I understand. With me, like I've told people, I didn't know what my sexuality was because I don't feel that I got to choose. I was a kid when these things were happening to me. So I didn't feel like it was fair. I'm just like, well, it's not fair. How do I know if I actually like men? Because what this person was doing to me, they shouldn't have been doing. So to me, that was me saying that I liked what they were doing to me when I didn't. So it's like, if that's determining me being gay, it's like my first, gay experiences would have been with somebody that was abusing me. So that's not me choosing. So I didn't feel like it was fair. That's why I hated my sexuality, and I would go against my sexuality. I hated gay people. I didn't want anything to do with gay people. Like, if you would have met me 10, 15 years ago, you'd be like, whoa. Like, I was a completely different person until I sought out help, until I talked to somebody about my feelings, because I didn't understand them. Like, I didn't understand why I hated gay people, but at the same time were attracted to some of them. Like I didn't get it because I didn't feel like I was supposed to be gay. I'm like, well, I'm not. I was abused, and I was told that that didn't determine the sexuality. Reading books, all of that. That it says that if somebody's doing this to you, then it doesn't define who you are sexually. But if this is my first gay experience, am I basically saying he didn't do anything to me because I was wanting it? Because I didn't. Like I didn't. I was just being told what I was told to do. I just did. I was out of fear. Just I being scared. I would get beat up and stuff into secrecy. Come in the house and nose bleeding, mouth bloody. Wouldn't tell my family why. I would just go hide it. Is what I would do. So I like hated, like everything about it. But at the same time was drawn to it. So there was this inner anger, that I had in me when it came to certain things. And I would not say that I was gay. Like I wouldn't say it. You couldn't pay me to say it because I didn't feel that way. I didn't because I didn't feel like I didn't get to choose. I should have been able to choose. It's how I felt. Like I should have been much older in life, acting upon whatever feelings that I wanted to act upon. Not being this innocent little 6, 7-year-old running around minding my business, don't know what sexuality is, don't know what liking a boy or a girl. Like I didn't like nobody at that point. I just want to play with my toys. That's how I was. I love toys. I love just hanging out with my cousins and my friends and stuff. Like that's just all I wanted to do. Like I didn't look at girls. I didn't look at boys. I didn't look at nobody. I was just a kid. I didn't know nothing about none of that. So for me to be introduced to it that way, I carried that throughout life, and it took a long time for me to accept and embrace who I am. But that's my story. When it comes to somebody like Katt Williams, I don't feel like he is a gay man. I don't feel that way. I think that he hasn't dealt with what has happened to him. And since he hasn't dealt with it, it's this like boiling anger on the inside on many different levels. On the level of somebody doing something to him and probably on the level of him making decisions that he wouldn't have made if he would have known better. So when it comes to his brother, if a situation like this did happen, it's hard for me to be angry with Katt when he was so young. Like he was 13 years old. If this happened, he was 13. He doesn't know any better besides what he's been taught. If that happened, somebody taught him that. It's not something he stumbled across, decided he wanted to try. No child really thinks that way. We're young, we're naive, we're impressionable. We're still learning so much, so easily molded, at that point in time. So he was allegedly, again, he was a kid. So how can I cancel someone and be so angry with someone when I don't know his story? Like, I don't know what this man has been through because hurt people hurt people. So how is it fair if he was a kid coming up and somebody took his trust and his family's trust, discarded it, hurt and harmed him, and he carried that behavior onto other people? Because he was only doing what he knew, only doing what he saw, thinking that it's normal. If you don't have any other sexual experience, like Katt said, he was a virgin. So that means at 13, he had no experience with sex. None. So where did if something like that happened, where did it come from? How is it fair that nothing happens to the person that did this to Katt, but something happens to him over him allegedly doing learned behavior? It's a lot. That's why I said it's heavy. And it's a sad situation. And I'm thinking about it on multiple levels. Multiple levels. I'm looking at it from Steven's perspective, and I'm looking at it from what Katt's perspective may be. Because we don't know what Katt's perspective is. We don't know if anybody did anything to Katt. It's just an assumption, based off of body language and based off of his brother stating that there were multiple people in the family doing certain things to family members. He said it was Katt. He said it was his cousin. It's a lot.
It was a confusing time, but yeah, I had a childhood. I was grown, but I at 5 years old, I was in front of 10,000 people giving a performance with a full suit and tie on. You know what I mean? So yeah.
What's that coming? Ronnie says maybe he didn't want to be the family narrative because I promise never heard Katt speak bad on his people. Agreed. This interview, I will say, he did speak bad on his people. He did. He made it seem as if his dad almost took his life in an altercation over something as simple as religion. Made his father seem like an extremely abusive person. Because, I mean, no one should do that to their kid. Katt's 13 years old. There's no reason his father should have approached him in that manner. So it does cause one to want to speak. Stephen says that their father can't speak for himself at this point in time because their father is suffering cancer and is going through cancer at this point in time. So Stephen is speaking on his father's behalf when it comes to the treatment and how Katt was treated. Because, again, I can respect Stephen and Katt's father, but at the same time, I can't. Like, hold on.
It came full circle for my life. I knew that the applause and the giving of information and laughs and truth to people somehow benefited them and also benefited you. And yeah, so when they would ask me what I wanted to be, everything that I would say that I wanted to be was something that didn't exist. And they would never give me credit for it because I needed to say a doctor or a lawyer, but that's not what I wanted to be.
So your parents weren't as supportive as you would have hoped because you were wanting to be things when you got older that they had no knowledge of or it didn't exist at the time?
No, it wasn't that. It was, I'm saying I'm almost 100 years old right now, but if we go outside right now, I can run a 4.340.
See, it's the exaggeration. I do think that Katt exaggerates a lot, like a lot. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to go over to coffee in a minute here. There's so much more to talk about. I just want to give it in doses. But again, shout out to Steven. Shout out to Katt. It's a lot. And it's also between the brothers. Okay. I might hop back on YouTube because of the situation with D'Angelo. I keep getting a lot of information about that. Okay, so I love you guys. I will be back. Please hit the like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Shout out to Omar with Tasha K. Get over there to Tasha K Live to watch this interview if you have not watched it. Okay, please get over there and do so. It's a great watch. It really is. Rest in peace to D'Angelo. I might come back live and we just do a quick live about D'Angelo, but coffee's first. So we're going to do coffee first. Okay. All right. I love you. Thank y'all so much for being here. Please hit the like. All right. Until the next show. Bye.